Iran seizes 2 ships in the Strait of Hormuz in retaliation for the U.S. naval blockade. Trump offers flexibility on a ceasefire deadline, and Israel attacks medics and journalists in Lebanon. Here's everything you need to know about the past 24 hours.
لذا این رو من میخوام تاکید بکنم که ما این میدان رو تا تنبیه جدی متجاوز.
This is a battle between the pragmatists and the hardliners in Iran right now, and the president wants a unified response.
Iran is making its own moves in the Strait of Hormuz, similar to the U.S. attacking and seizing an Iranian vessel a few days ago. Iran has now seized 2 cargo ships. The Iranian military released footage of the operation and is threatening to attack more vessels in the area. This video and the timing of the incident is about sending a message that Iran can and will tighten control in the Strait unless the U.S. naval blockade of Iranian ports is lifted. The capture happened hours after U.S. President Donald Trump extended a ceasefire, but he maintained the blockade aimed at strangling Iran's economy. Iran's lead negotiator, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, says reopening the Strait of Hormuz is now impossible with such flagrant breaches of the ceasefire. The standoff in the Strait is severely threatening a second round of talks in Islamabad. But President Trump says both the ceasefire and blockade will remain in place until a deal is agreed.
President Trump announced an extension of the ceasefire. He's maintaining and generously offering a bit of flexibility to a regime who has been completely tarnished because of Operation Epic Fury.
But despite the flexible deadline, reports are emerging of at least 3 Iranian tankers seized by U.S. forces in Asian waters. And the Pentagon has released footage showing its forces boarding a sanctioned tanker in the Indo-Pacific region. Now, just as the Navy is bearing the brunt of U.S. war operations, Pete Hegseth has sacked the Navy Secretary John Phelan. No official reason was given, but he's the latest high-ranking military leader to be removed during the war. It comes just weeks after the Army's chief of staff was forced to step down. Despite the shakeup at the Pentagon, the White House says Trump is satisfied with the naval blockade, but vessels are getting through. At least 34 tankers with links to Iran have bypassed the blockade since it began, according to the cargo tracking group Fortexa. That's equivalent to 10 million barrels of oil, but that's a small figure compared to before the war, when 15 million barrels passed through the Strait of Hormuz every day. The other crucial issue is the truce in Lebanon, and the prime minister there is accusing Israel of war crimes after it attacked journalists and medics in the town of Atiri. The Al Akhbar reporter Amal Khalil was killed and her colleague Zainab Faraj was seriously injured. Israeli forces fired on medics and rescue workers trying to help them. Hezbollah says it wants it back and has again fired at Israeli positions. Those are the latest attacks in a wider war that is far from over. That's all from me today. Stay with us on Al Jazeera for all your developments in the war on Iran.